Hi, I'm Enzo Strider and welcome to my video game highlights of 2012. First things first, as this is my first video of the new year, Happy New Year to each and every single one of you. I know this is probably going to sound cheesy, but every time you guys hit that play button, in loosely speaking, you kind of invite me into your houses, into your living rooms, into your bedrooms, wherever you watch this video. I'm in a very privileged position when you do so. I'm sorry about the new setup. The camera's a bit close. I'm sorry if this is going to give you nightmares, but I'm really sorry. I just had to set this up really quickly. So yeah, thank you very much just for pressing the play button. I never ask for likes or comments or anything like that, or subscriptions. If you guys want to do that, you guys do that, and that's entirely up to you. I never ask for that. Once again, just sorry about the whole setup like this. I was just trying to record some gameplay footage. Pardon me, which is why my laptop is in a different place. I do beg your pardon. Really sorry. Yeah, which is why my laptop is in a different place to usual. I promise my Let's Play of Deadly Premonition is coming. I did record several parts to stage the releases over Christmas because I am busy with work. I still am. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words out. I'm getting kind of flustered here. Yeah, I was very busy with work over Christmas and New Year. I was working all the days I was able to, of course, to pay for Christmas, and my next paycheck should be very nice actually. I'm hoping to maybe save a bit of money and get Tomb Raider, but I'm getting off topic. Yeah, so I was trying to stage the releases over Christmas because I won't be able to do a video with you guys, so I thought maybe if I just record a bunch now, I can release them over Christmas and New Year. Maybe a few of the things I was talking about may have been dated, but I would have explained in the description that I'm busy with work, which is why I make references to stuff that happened 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm really sorry, because when it came to editing them together, the first editing tools I used, the video frame rate was very choppy, and it wasn't salvageable. There was nothing I could do with that because I was running the footage through so many filters. I am recording on a shoestring budget, so it's like everything that I was doing, it was I've run it through so many filters, and when I finally come to editing it together, it was the frame rate of the video was really choppy, and it wasn't the sort of quality that I would put out. It wasn't the sort of thing I'd watch, so I wouldn't expect you guys to watch it. The second one that I video editing tools that I ran it through, the frame rate was perfect, but it took out the game audio completely, and considering that almost 90% of the in-game voice, it is voiced dialogue, about 90% of it is. So yeah, again, that just wasn't the sort of thing that I would put out. It wasn't the sort of thing I'd watch, so I wouldn't expect you guys to watch it. I'm currently in the process of getting some new tools. I don't know when for certain the Let's Play will be coming, but it is coming this year. It probably will be 2 to 3 weeks into January by the time I've got everything sorted. The reason why it's 2 to 3 weeks into January when I'm getting the tools quite soon is because there's going to be some problems with my broadband over the coming weeks. They've sent me a notification saying expect disruptions in your service, so I may not be able to get a video up for a week or two. They've said up to 2 weeks. I'm expecting that maybe it could go on a bit longer, but they have said expect disruptions in your service. So I'm sorry if the camera being this close and in a different location is kind of I'm sorry if this gives you nightmares. I really am. You can see the wrinkles in my forehead and everything. It's like I'm getting on in years. I don't hide the fact that I'm a mature gamer, immature gamer. Yeah, so this is where I do my gaming actually as well. This is my living room, and here is my pad, which I've just been playing on some Dragonborn. That's the Fable 3 pad, by the way. I'll try and get that in shot. That's a Fable 3 pad. I didn't get it with the game, I bought that separate. I did buy Fable 3, didn't rate it as highly as Fable 1 or 2. I just liked the pad because it's all gold and nice and shiny, and that's why I own it. Yeah, so yeah, that was just the update stuff. That now that's out the way, I will get on to my gaming highlights of the year. So going all the way back to March, and I think it's fairly obvious what the highlight of the year for me. This isn't going to be all games, by the way. This is just the highlights. I did buy way more games than this. As I say, this is just the highlights. So highlight number one, of course, back in March would be Mass Effect 3. Absolutely fantastic. I loved almost every moment of it. The ending is still a bit of a sore spot for, I'm sure if you'll agree if you're a Mass Effect fan, it's still a sore spot for us. I don't think it's going to change it. I think we just have to accept it now. This is what it's gonna be like. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about it. The way I was explaining it to a friend recently is, imagine that someone gives you a cake, and the sponge is lovely, and it's just got that little bit of moisture, and it's not dry at all, and it's tasty. You know, there's some ice and sugar sprinkled on there, and there's some frosting on the top, and it's got a delicious creamy filling, you know, with maybe just a little jam layer on the sweet jam, not the nasty jam that I don't like. You know, you know, and there's you know, some little chocolate sprinkles on, and there's a bit of cherry on the top. Now, if the rest of the cake is delicious, the bitter cherry, you know, you're just going to have to learn to live with it. So I've come to terms now with the Mass Effect 3 ending. I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon. I would love them to, don't get me wrong, but this is the ending, and this is where we're going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. But I'm sure BioWare will have learnt the lesson by now, and they won't repeat their mistakes. At least I hope they don't. Did I mention, by the way, that I've got 2 new games that I'm going to be doing Let's Plays of in the new year? I don't think I did. I don't have them with me now. I'm waiting for them to come through the door. I'm only going to give you a little clue for what they are. They happen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Probably said too much, and it's last generation, and now I've said too much. But yeah, I'm going to be recording those 2. Maybe just the first one, maybe not the second one. See how things go. See if you guys want the second one after I've done the first one. I'm really hopeful that the next tools that I get, which are being provided by a friend, very graciously of him, will be a lot better. So yeah, Mass Effect 3 done. Gaming highlight of the year, first one. Yeah, I'm getting off topic quite a lot. I am a bit tired at the moment with all the work that I've been doing. I really am sorry. I will try to focus from here on out. So yeah, gaming highlight number 2, I believe was in May. The Witcher 2. Loved it. Absolutely adore it. It's a mature storyline. You know, I'm not just talking because there's nudity in it, but it's a mature storyline. It's a tough and it's a challenging game, and it was worth every single penny I spent on it. I got it day 1 release. I taught the guy behind the counter into giving me a free Witcher t-shirt, which I adore. I think I wore it in one of my videos. I'm not 100%. Yeah, and I absolutely loved the entire game. I would have got the big collector's edition if I could, you know, which came with a pendant and everything. I would have got it if I could have afforded it at the time, but unfortunately I couldn't. So I had to stick with the standard enhanced edition, which doesn't matter. It's the game that you buy, right? You know, just sometimes getting a collector's edition is kind of nice. So yeah, I really enjoyed The Witcher 2, and I fully intend to play through it again. I've only played through it the once, and it really does warrant a second playthrough. It's that good a game. Another highlight of the year for me was Max Payne 3. I was pleasantly surprised with this. I thought Max Payne was as much about, you know, the setting, the backdrop of as New York, and I wasn't quite sure how moving Max Payne into Sao Paulo, was it Sao Paulo? I'm pretty sure it was Sao Paulo. I wasn't sure how transferring Max into that setting was going to work, but it did. I'm kind of surprised. And yet again, it was another mature storyline. It was about a man who was breaking down, and he had his addictions that he was battling with, his own personal demons, his addiction to painkillers, his alcoholism. He blamed himself, you know, for certain events that had happened in his life. If you played Max Payne 1 and 2, you'll know what I'm talking about. So he was riddled with guilt, and he was broken all the way down in Max Payne 3 until he climbed out of the gutter and he built himself back up, and it was a real redemption story, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was another highlight of the year for me. I didn't think I would enjoy Max Payne 3 with the setting being as sunny Sao Paulo and not the gritty, snowy streets of New York. But I really enjoyed it because the character of New York was as much a character in the Max Payne series as Max Payne himself was. So I was really pleasantly surprised and I really enjoyed it. Another gaming highlight of the year for me, I believe, was also in May. I may be wrong with the months here, but was Dragon's Dogma. Despite its niggles, there was some stuff that I didn't enjoy, such as the constant chatter from the pawns and some certain gameplay mechanics. But the rest of it I really enjoyed, and it did one thing that Skyrim didn't, which is if you are fighting a large fantastical beast such as a dragon, you have to climb and wrestle with it. I really love that. You'd be like, holding on to maybe the dragon's back leg, or as I was unfortunate in one encounter with the dragon, holding on to where its genital area may be. So I was holding on for dear life, and I'm thinking the dragon's probably getting off on this, and I was stabbing away. It probably wasn't getting off on that. And I was stabbing away, and there's a huge drop below me, and my pawns are down there, and there's one firing fireballs, and there's another one firing arrows, and the other pawn, who was a warrior, who was probably just shaking his fist in anger at the dragon, as I was being carried off into the distance. It was kind of hilarious, and it was those things that made the game really shine. Fighting these large monsters, you don't just stand there and hack at the ankles a la Skyrim. You jump on it, you try to tackle its hind legs, you jump on its back, you try to take the wings out, and I really enjoyed that. There was a few niggles with it, but other than that, absolutely loved it. Constant chatter from the pawns, though. I had to tell mine in the chair of wisdom to shut the hell up. But yeah, I really did enjoy Dragon's Dogma. I'm going to move on to a gaming lowlight now, because I believe this was July. It was October. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all the way ahead to October. Resident Evil 6. The reason why I'm bringing Resident Evil 6 up is because there was the demo bundled with it wasn't in the box, there was a code, but there was a code bundled into Dragon's Dogma. I am sad to see Resident Evil 6, well, the Resident Evil series, going in this direction. It was an action game by the numbers. Leon's campaign was fairly enjoyable with the return to zombies, but Chris Redfield and Jake Muller's Jake Muller, that is the way the name is spelt, Muller, not Mueller, Jake Muller, their campaigns just fell short. They were dull, they were boring. The producer of Resident Evil 6, whose name I would probably butcher if I could remember it, he was saying, we're taking the Call of Duty effect into consideration, and we're trying to up the action. And I was just thinking, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I'm not interested. I didn't intend to get this. I played the first demo, I didn't like what I played. I liked Leon's section, but I didn't like the others. I played the second demo that came about, yet again I liked Leon's section, but I didn't like the other two. I'm thinking I'm not going to get this game just for 1/3 of a game that I'm going to enjoy. And when the game got released, my girlfriend actually said, look, it's a Resident Evil game, you always get Resident Evil games, let's go and get it, you may be surprised. And I enjoyed Leon's campaign, but I didn't enjoy the other two. It went exactly as I thought it would. It was more enjoyable playing with a co-op partner, I will give it that. Hello to Sarge out there, I know you subscribe. It was me and you who played together. We had a great time on it. We were just running around screaming every time a large monster turned up, and generally just berating each other's targeting. And I think we had a fun encounter where I was swimming from like a giant shark type monster. I was swimming away like crazy, like, shoot it! Those kind of things were fun in co-op. I've got to give it that. So yeah, in co-op it was kind of fun, but single player, poor. And it's sad to see the Resident Evil franchise going this way. Jumping ahead to November, I've got to mention this game, Halo 4. Loved it. A lot of people were doubting 343 Industries when Bungie said they weren't making Halo anymore, and 343 were the new guys in charge. I had faith in them. I wanted these new guys to prove that they could make a decent game. I was behind them. Of course, if they made a terrible game, then I would have been no. But yeah, I had faith in them. And the single player campaign is fantastic. And when they said, you know, they were going to focus on the characters of the chief and his relationship with Cortana, I was wondering how far they could take that in, you know, what is essentially just a first person shooter game. But they did it beautifully. You know, they did improve on the. Sorry, I keep looking to where my Xbox is. I'm gonna have to stop doing that. You know, but they did improve. I'm doing it again. Did you see? You see that? It's because Halo 4 is literally down there right now. I have been playing it recently, but they did do it beautifully. In fact, all my games are down there. But they did do it beautifully, and yeah, I did shed some manly tears during the course of the campaign. No spoilers in case you haven't finished it yet. I'm sure you all have, but I do beg your pardon. I seem to be experiencing some problems here. I'm very, very sorry. And again, I do excuse me. But yeah, I was really, really surprised by just how well they managed to do it. I was kind of worried when there was some Call of Duty influences seemed to be being brought up by 343 Industries themselves. But I forgave them this because of the main reason is Halo's gameplay now is 11 years old. We've got to face facts. You know, it had to do things and it had to shake things up a little. Yeah, so I can forgive them that. You know, there does seem to be a little more in there. You know, Halo's gameplay, as I've said, is 11 years old now, so it did need something to freshen it up, and it does feel fresh and it does feel new. And yeah, really enjoyed it. Multiplayer is a little bit more Call of Duty than what single player is, but it is still Halo flavoured and it's still very, very good, highly enjoyable. And I like the whole new specialisation system. I've only unlocked one. I mean, we're on the 4th of January now, and I've only unlocked one specialisation, and I did that yesterday. I haven't been online as much as I would like to be. As I've said, I have been busy with work. But yeah, it is really, really good, and the Spartan Ops episodic content as well. You know, which is coming out continuously. Even now, there's going to be more coming out with season 2. It's good to see that there's, you know, someone supporting a game in this way, where you're releasing new content every so often. I think my camera's a bit off, which is why I keep thinking that, like, I'm looking at the camera, right, but to me it's like I'm not, because the camera's off center. Sorry about that. Did have to set up kind of quickly. So yeah, I was really, really impressed with the Spartan Ops episodic content. It's providing support for a game after release, and I believe it is all free as well. If you just own a box copy of the game, Spartan Ops is free to everyone. I don't believe you need to own the limited edition. I do. I got the limited edition. But I believe to every player who plays Spartan Ops, it's free content, and who doesn't like free stuff? So yeah, that brings me to the end of the year, but there's one special mention I want to mention. This game won the Spike video game of the year award or whatever. I don't believe it's quite deserving of that accolade. It's The Walking Dead, the game. It's a damn fine experience. This was also episodic, which is why I bring it up now. But it was that exactly. It was an experience. Once you've played from it from start to finish, yeah, it's a great experience. But I wouldn't call it game of the year, not by any long shot. It is a damn fine game. I'm not going to take that away from it. It is so good. But it is more experience than game. I was going to get this when episode 1 came out. I got this. I was going to get this regardless, because I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and I thought if it's just if it's just half as good as the show, then it'll be a damn fine game. It was point and click, which maybe to me, I thought that's a bit archaic now, and maybe a lot of players wouldn't take to it, but it seems to be doing really well. I think Let's Plays on YouTube seem to be doing a bit more well than actually purchase of the game, so maybe I can just entice you a little here. The first episode, according to the Daily Telegraph's website, until the 31st of January, we're on the 4th today, the first episode on the Xbox Live Marketplace is free. You heard, that's free. Free game. First episode of free game. First episode free of the whole game. Go get it. If you go out and get episodes 2, 3, 4 and 5 afterwards, they'll get their, they're not losing any money. They're still making money there. I don't know how true that is. I've heard Daily Telegraph on the website up until the 31st of January, episode 1, A New Day, is free. So there you go. I've sweetened the pot for you. Go and get it. You're not losing any money. Try it. Point and click did seem archaic to me. I loved it so much. It was such a good experience. Right at the beginning, you're charged in you're put in charge of this little girl called Clementine. She becomes your focus of the entire story. She's your you're her guardian. You're fulfilling the parent role, and maybe it's because I'm a parent myself, and I was displacing some of my parental responsibilities for my daughter onto Clementine as I was playing the game. But maybe that's why I was as protective as I was of her. But it seems that it wasn't just me who played it like this. It was everyone who played it like this. They felt a parental responsibility for Clementine, which shows some great writing there. If you actually feel responsible for a character, that's some great writing. And it was a subtle thing as well, just like in episode 1, this isn't a spoiler, there's a conversation in a barn where you talk about how it smells like manure. It's just, with little touches like that, where you can tell her it smells of shit if you want to be an arsehole, but you can say it smells of manure like a responsible adult. So it was just little touches like that, and it's like you cared for Clementine. And spoiler free, towards the end, there's a whole bit where you're like, I will protect you, Clementine. And I was feeling like He-Man by the power of Grayskull, for those of you who remember He-Man out there. But I was, there was a chest pounding, I'm going to protect you moment in episode 5. So fantastic. I can't fault it enough. It was such a joy to play through. Not all the time. You had to make some real hard decisions, but I was talking to I exchanged messages with probably going to get this wrong, Charles6315 maybe, but we exchanged messages, just a couple, where I said, actually I think this is better than the TV show, and he agreed and he said yes, it actually is a better story than the TV show, but maybe that's because you're participating in it. You're not just an observer. You're actually participating with the pad, and you're making decisions with the pad. So maybe it's because of the participation that I'm thinking it's better than the TV show. But I'm not taking anything away from the TV show. The TV show is still damn fine. The graphic novels are still damn fine, which I am at some point gonna read. I've only read a bit of the first one. I intend to read them all because I'm really enjoying the graphic novel too. Sorry, my voice is getting a bit hoarse. This is my third attempt to record this. The audio wasn't what I expected, so I thought I'd re-record. It's not scripted. This is all just off the top of my head. I've changed what I've said each and every time as well, which is crazy. Walking Dead, fantastic. And until the 31st of this month, January, episode 1 on the Xbox Live Marketplace, according to the Daily Telegraph website, it's free. So go out and get it and give it a try. It's a point and click adventure, which I think is a bit archaic still, but it works, and it's a great little story. So you've got nothing to lose by trying it. So what other highlights of the year has there been? I think I'm going on to DLC here, actually. There wasn't much in the way of DLC highlights. I generally stay away from DLC unless it's a series that I love, like Mass Effect, but I can't add the Mass Effect DLCs to highlights of the year. the highlights of the year for me go to Dawnguard, Skyrim. Fantastic. As I was playing it, the gothic fantasy feel of it was reminding me of one of my favourite books by William King called Vampire Slayer. If any of you know what Vampire Slayer is, leave it in the comments. I know don't normally ask, but Vampire Slayer, leave it in the comments. I'm sure one of you will have heard of Vampire Slayer by William King in the Gotrek and Felix series of books. If any of you out there are interested in fantasy novels, give it a read. They're actually quite funny, as well as full of adventure and the sort of thing you expect from a high fantasy book. And it's well written as well. I really do like William King's style of writing. But I'm getting off topic. So yeah, I like the gothic fantasy feel of it. But as I was playing it, I was getting a feel of Underworld from it. You have a vampire companion who you never see feeding on blood called Selena instead of Celine from Underworld. And I was actually a werewolf in it, so I was kind of like the Michael Corvo of the situation. I was getting a real Underworld vibe from it. I actually watched the fourth movie this morning as well, Underworld Awakening. It's not as good as the first one, but it's decent, it's enjoyable. But yeah, as I was playing the Dawnguard DLC, I was getting a real Underworld vibe from it. There was a bit towards the end that I was a bit iffy on, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the DLC. It was a good, fun DLC. The second DLC highlight of the year is Dragonborn. I will be reviewing all three once I've finished Dragonborn, but Dragonborn, it was more for the nostalgia value that I really enjoyed it. There was a moment where it's set in Solstheim, which is the same island you visit on the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind's expansion pack, Blood Moon. So I'd already visited this island before, back playing Morrowind, and there's a bit in Dragonborn. This is spoiler free, by the way. This is stuff you will see if you've played it. There's a bit where you see a Silt Strider, and I ran up to it all excited, going, "Oh, Silt Strider!" And I was like talking to my girlfriend, "Do you remember Silt Striders from Morrowind?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I've just found one," and I was so excited. And then as I continued my wandering around Solstheim, I found a Bullnetch. And I was like, "Oh, Bullnetch, I remember you from Morrowind." And it was just like, I got all giddy and I jumped around and I made my character jump around and I got all excited. And then I think I entered a location and a loading screen came up, and even the loading screen provided nostalgia. It was the loading screen which gave the description of the chitin armour. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced chitin armour, where the adventurer wearing it had her arm up, shielding her face. I'm sorry, I'm obscuring the camera, but the adventurer wearing it was obscuring her face. And I remembered that as you were playing Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, if you were walking into a dust storm, your adventure in third person, your adventure would actually shield the dust from their face with their arm. And it was just like a little touch on the loading screen that they just put the arm in front of the adventurer's face, and it reminded me of walking into the dust. I don't think it does that in Skyrim. If you're walking into a snowstorm, if you're in third person, if they cover the face, I will try that the next time I'm playing it. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I think I've covered all my highlights. There were more highlights, but I'm not going to go into things like nailing a headshot from across the map on Halo 4. There was little personal highlights about that, but I'm not going to go into all of them. They're just some of the ones that stick out in my memory from last year, 2012. So yeah, I think I've covered absolutely everything. So what I'm looking forward to in 2013. Well, let's see. I'm hoping that the Walking Dead series 2 will come out. I'm gonna have to remember to say the Walking Dead the game, because yeah, just to avoid confusion. But season 2, I'd really like to see that come out this year. Just because I did have so much fun playing the first one. Yeah, I really like making the tough decisions. I enjoyed looking after Clementine and all that sort of stuff. I would love to see more in the in season 2. I'm looking forward to see Activision's The Walking Dead first person shooter fall flat on its face. It seems like a wasted license there. I actually had a look at a bit of the footage, the gameplay footage, and I was like, it looks terrible. So I was kind of getting a giddy little thrill off that, just not looking all that brilliant. Whereas on the other hand, a good first person zombie game is Dead Island. I'm looking forward to Dead Island Riptide this year. I did play a bit of the first one. I intend to finish it before I get Dead Island Riptide, and I am looking forward to playing Dead Island Riptide too, just to see what new mechanics are in there. It seems to be a sort of flooding mechanic going on, which will be interesting to play out, especially since some of England is currently underwater. But yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm looking, apparently the zombies drag you out the boat now and all sorts. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be some fun. I'll be playing that with friends. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Tomb Raider. They seem to be going the more realistic and gritty mature approach with it. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. I haven't bought a Tomb Raider game since Tomb Raider 2 back on the PlayStation 1. They've just been lacking for me. But this one really has grabbed my interest, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. So I will be getting that, and I will be trying it. I'm also looking forward to Bioshock Infinite, but every man and his dog's looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Bioshock Infinite. I'm looking forward to the next Mass Effect DLC. Of course, I am a Mass Effect fan. Epilogue, I do have my own idea of what's going to be in there. Apparently it's called Epilogue. We don't know for certain, but I have my own idea of what's going to be in there. I may even do a video about what, like a speculation on the Epilogue DLC, if that is its name. I may do a video about my speculation about what it may be. I may not. We'll see how things go. I'm also looking forward to. Have I gone over everything? I'm missing something out. I've got to be. I normally don't ask for comments, but on this particular occasion, I'm going to. If you want, you can tell me your highlights of 2012 last year, but you also could you let me know of what you're looking forward to this year, 2013, because I know I'm forgetting something. It'll probably come to my mind as soon as I sign out. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, I'm sorry about the quality. It's not as good as what I'm used to, but I did have to set up pretty quick, and I was trying some new tools out as well, so I did have to record this pretty quick. So yeah, I'm just going to move my cursor, and I will say thank you for watching, and I've been N7 Strider, and I should go.